Grateful for the bye week. Gave the team yesterday and today off. Um, Gave the staff yesterday and today off. I just think sometimes you just need to reset. And and the league is so competitive. When you have a chance to do it, you have to. We're a team that wants to play deep in March and April. And so if we get a chance to rest, we're going to do it. I know a lot of teams don't like the pause, and so they schedule a game or whatever the case may be. But for me, my philosophy is rest. Go ahead and look at some things that we need to do better. Talk about the things that we're doing well, and go from there. And that's the goal this week. So tomorrow we'll get on the court. We have a phenomenal scout team. They all came back early to be with us, and we'll throw the ball up and work through some kinks through some small scrimmages.
We'll start off with maybe the hard question, but you kind of vented yesterday about the AP poll, and somebody shot back that rankings don't matter, and you say they do.
Yeah.
Tell me about your frustration a little more with AP.
Yeah, for me, it's more of a consistency thing, and it's not, it's my love for Ole Miss. Like I'm tired of the whole narrative, Stephen A. Smith and all these people coming in and saying like, making all of these false narratives about Oxford and Oxford, Mississippi, and I live here every day, and at some point they have to be comfortable with knowing that Ole Miss has evolved. Whatever it was in the past, it's not. And we are serious about competing and competing at a high level at every sport. And I always feel like we have to do stuff 3 times more in order to get the respect that we deserve. Michigan barely lost to UConn, and they treated them as if they were like the number 6 team in the country right away. Okay, LSU had a great win the other day against Texas at home. They move them up 6 spots. Okay, we go on the road. We lose to Texas by 3 points. We go on the road to Oklahoma, who's number 5. We won. Then we come home against a Mississippi State team that it's rivalry, and we do something we hadn't done since 1991. Right? Beat them by 25 points, and you move us up 2 spots. Like, where's the consistency? For me, I don't care about rankings either, because it's not going to decide what our seeding is, right? But be consistent. What you have done consistently is you showed that if a lower team beats a higher team, especially on the road, they're to be rewarded. And I was just disappointed because I don't think that everybody that has the opportunity to make the vote, I don't believe that they take it seriously. I don't believe that they look at it. I went through and I looked at the vote. Some people didn't even move certain teams. And it's not a shot at Oklahoma or LSU. I'm an SEC girly, so as far as I'm concerned, that's fine. But don't be like, oh, you guys got to win 6 top 25 games to be moved up. That's not fair, and I'm gonna call it out. I know I have the platform, and I know that the point I made was legitimate. So people are saying, oh, don't worry about it. I'm not worried about it, because you know what? We could go to Georgia, and if we don't handle business, we'll lose. But I also know that had we lost to Oklahoma and Mississippi State, we'd be fighting for our lives. And they can't tell me that that's not the case. Last year, we beat Kentucky here. We went on the road and we beat LSU. And you don't let us host, and you say that this other team had a better record, and they didn't. Okay, you want to penalize us. You say we lost to a non-ranked team. Well, so did Oklahoma. So did a bunch of teams that you guys have ahead of us. Michigan State lost to Wisconsin. We beat Wisconsin. Michigan State beats us. So make it make sense. It's not consistent, and I'm just gonna call it out. I'm sick of it, and I'm tired of people acting like Ole Miss is just this team that hadn't been to the Sweet 16 two times in 3 years, that hadn't been in the top four in this league multiple times, and that hadn't been doing what we needed to do. And I'm gonna fight for the team and for the brand.
Can you make it make sense that y'all go into Norman and beat them, a difficult place to play, ended a 13-game win streak for them, and they're ranked ahead of you
That's what I'm
in
saying.
the poll?
That's what I'm saying. Like I just my thing is like, weren't they undefeated? I feel like they were undefeated at home, and they're so good. Like people were saying that they were a Final Four, or people are still saying that they're a Final Four team. I'm not here to make that argument. Jenny will do that for her team, but I know we went in there and we beat them, and it wasn't a lucky shot like it was when we lost to Kansas State. It wasn't one of those. It was like a legitimate. We won the game, and if the ref didn't call the call she made, it would have even been by more. But she gave them three free throws at the end. Now, luckily, she only made one. But my point is, it's not about anybody else. It's about the disrespect or the lack of respect that they have for Ole Miss. And I'm going to fight for my team, and I'm going to fight for my school.
You brought up Stephen A. Smith, and I feel like I need to ask you this, but do you feel like there's some prejudicial movements against Ole Miss because of its past in the
Yeah,
poll?
absolutely. What else? Why else would you treat us the way you treat us? We're being penalized for things that happen. We're in the Southeastern Conference. Okay, I was born in the Bahamas, but I know my American history. Okay, and I know the teams in the Southeastern Conference, and I know the backgrounds that they have had. I know the schools that just move Confederate flags maybe only 10 years ago from their state capitol building. Like, that wasn't our case, you know? And so it frustrates me because you have people that have these platforms that are saying that people of color don't want to be in Oxford. Well, what are you saying about me? My whole team is of color. I'm of color. My family, we love it here. It's just unfair. So, okay, that's fine. You use your platform, Stephen A., because you're controversial, and I love his stuff. I crack up every time. But I'm gonna use my platform, and my platform may not be as big as yours, but there's legitimacy in what I'm saying. I'm saying we live in a world right now that there are all kind of racial and you know disparities that are unfair all over. And don't try to make it seem like it's at Ole Miss, and don't create a narrative that's not true. And I was off social media at the time when he made that comment, but I was really upset, and I had a whole video in my drafts, but I didn't release it because I knew people would throw up the past in our face. But I'm just telling you, I'm here now, and I'm proud to be here. My players love it. We love it. And all we want to do is represent Ole Miss, and we want to be able to have a fair shot. That's it.
I want to ask you about having to go to Georgia and playing them kind of close together
we
at the
just
front end of
played.
the schedule.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, what does that create any kind of challenges? I mean, did they see anything when y'all beat them here that
No.
maybe they could fix and work on between now and then?
Well, I'll tell you this. I really respect them. I think they're a tough team, especially at Georgia. Any game on the road is tough in the Southeastern Conference. So I think they're going to do the same things that we're going to do. We're going to look at the film, and we're going to see what we did well, and then we're going to see what we didn't do so well, and try to correct those things. And I think they're going to do the same thing. So it's going to come down to the team that shows the best improvement from game to game. They have a bye week too, so I'm sure they're going to work on stuff. I'm going to have my team do a scout on them because we just play them. It's fresh, and we have time. And my team is adventurous like that, so I think that really appreciate doing a scout against an opponent.
Do you feel like, 83% new roster,
Yeah,
how do you feel like they've come together
yeah,
here in the early goings, especially having played Texas, having
yeah.
played Oklahoma, coming back and playing your arch rival? What's the SEC look like as far as the gelling?
Well, I'll tell you this. I was really grateful that we had Texas early because I respect Vic and what they do. I was grateful for Oklahoma too. I'd be lying if I said I thought we were going to go in and win both games. I didn't know, and I would have been happy with a 2-2 record right now. But after we beat Oklahoma, I looked up to God and I said, "Well, I didn't really mean that." Don't punish me because I said I would be happy for a 2-2 record. It's just so much for us to experience and learn. I'd rather play them now, those two elite teams, than later. Now we're in this league that right now is booming. I think we could have anywhere from 10 to 11 teams get in the tournament this year. So we're gonna play multiple top 25 teams, and then we're gonna play some in a Georgia and a Missouri that are gonna fight to try to be in postseason play. So for us, we're kind of taking it one game at a time. We're learning. Uh, the Oklahoma win was pivotal for us. I think our players really enjoyed how that felt, and then my whole talk with them about Mississippi State was to respect the rivalry, you know, and they really did. I thought that they really got in true character about it, and which I appreciate, and I know that our alums and the people in Oxford and Ole Miss fans all over, because I've been getting messages from all of them. I know that they appreciate.
You brought up Vic Schaefer. Did you see his comments on the SEC scheduling this morning where he was really hard on the SEC? He said the SEC had a vendetta against them
Yeah.
because of his early season schedule. He's going to play South Carolina again.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I know that the tournament in Vegas, they had a chance to opt out of that. So I'm sure he knew that he would play him again. Um, Here's the thing: we all have a tough slate. I was looking at Mississippi State's schedule. Um, Starting with us, I think they got six more top 25 teams in a row that they're gonna play. Then we have a stretch. I think our three-game stretch are top 10 teams in the country, and then one that's in the top 25. I think it's like Vandy or LSU, Vandy, Tennessee, something crazy. But that's why you come into this league. This league is the best of the best. I was talking to Cody, and she was like, "Man, that's why I came to this league. Like, I love this." Yeah, after the Texas game, she said, "Coach, they really beat the crap out of me." And she said, "But I love this. Like, I love the physicality of the league." And so I missed it, but I do know that for me, I welcome it because it's not going to hurt you. It can only make you better.
You bring up Cody McMahon, SEC Player of the Week.
Yeah, finally.
43 points against some tough competition combined. And, so somebody's giving you a little respect there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, listen, for me, that was me standing up and fighting for the University of Mississippi in Ole Miss. I'm here. I've been here 8 years. If I didn't believe in what we were doing here, I wouldn't speak on it. I would just sit that one out. But I'm here. I've seen the support that Chancellor Boyce and Keith has given me in this community. We had 5,000 people out. Okay, we didn't sell out. We didn't have 10,000. We didn't have 12,000 like they had in Austin and in Baton Rouge. But we also don't have the same population, you know. And I'm not okay with it, So I don't think it's. I would love to sit around and say people don't respect us. People respect us. I just think that they make us do things twice as much as others, and that's the part that's unfair. But I wish I could use that and let it be a chip on our shoulder. But we don't really need that. We're really focused on taking it one game at a time and trying to make the most of our experience.
Keith and Boyce, they've proven to be a really good, supportive team for Ole Miss athletics.
Yep.
Everybody's winning.
Yeah.
Everybody is nationally ranked. just your thoughts on the job they've done, and it's a different era, the collective and all that, and how all that's working for you here.
Yeah, I mean, I think I said last year, I thought Ole Miss is an everything school. I think I mentioned it when we were on our Sweet 16 run because at the time, softball had just won and made it to the World Series. It's a testament to our leadership. Keith and Chancellor Boyce, I mean, they're bought in. And I really believe that the community has supported the teams as well. One of the things that I think is unique is, the coaches, the our leadership understands the type of people that will work here at Ole Miss. This place is not for everybody. If you're not willing to roll up your sleeves and do the unthinkable and be kind of oblivious and believe in yourself, this is not the place for you. Ole Miss is the place for people that's going to roll up their sleeves. They're going to have probably like just an incredible amount of belief in themselves that work with what they have. We don't have the biggest budgets. We know that, but we don't sit around and cry about it either. There's no coach in our department that sits around and cries about what we don't have. And we just make it work. And because what we have is a bunch of good coaches. And what we have is support from our administration as much as they can. And so, would I like to have the budget that Texas and Oklahoma and LSU has? Of course, I would love to have that. You would really see me cook, David. But what we do have is enough to be competitive, and Keith believes in me enough to give me that so I can be competitive. That's what I talk to him about all the time. Just give me a chance to compete against the best, and I'll figure out the rest. And so,
One last question. Tell me about the hat.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah, the hat. One time I was coming in for an interview, and we had just won the Egg Bowl, and they were giving away the hats, but I missed the giveaway, and one of our guys over IT. Oh, I'm drawing a blank, but he had two of them, and so I said, "Man, where did you get that hat from?" And he was like, "Oh, you want this?" And he gave it to me, and I held it because I wanted to wear it, but I said, "Well, we hadn't played our Egg Bowl yet," and uh, and when I was on my way to the game, I looked at the hat and I almost wore it. And I said, "No, I'm not going to jinx myself. I'm going to remain humble." But now that I know we don't have to see him again until maybe SEC tournament, this is the time to wear the hat and say we run the SIP, at least for this year.